Welcome to the channel, men. Today, we're diving into a topic that's bound to stir some thoughts, and maybe even challenge a few beliefs. We're talking about the 5 behaviors of a woman who doesn't value you. Now, before you get defensive or start making excuses, take a step back. The reality is, if a woman is treating you poorly, it's not just about her being difficult or playing games. It could very well be a reflection of how she truly feels about you, and that's what we're here to unpack. There's this common misconception floating around that if you're just patient, if you try harder, or if you give more, she'll eventually see your worth. Well, here's the truth. That's a trap. If a woman doesn't value you, no amount of effort from your end is going to change that. You might end up stuck in a cycle of frustration and confusion, wondering why things never seem to improve. So how do you know if you're being undervalued? What are the signs to watch for? In today's video, I'll break down exactly what to look out for. Those behaviors that scream, she's just not that into you, even if she's not saying it outright. But here's the kicker. These behaviors aren't always as obvious as you might think. They don't always come with an apology or a clear sign. Sometimes they're subtle. Sometimes they're disguised as normal interactions, which makes it all the more important for you to pay attention to the patterns. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of what to avoid, how to spot when you're being taken for granted, and what actions you should take to stop wasting time on someone who isn't bringing value to your life. Stick around because this one's a game changer. 1. She gives you breadcrumbs, not attention. If you've ever felt like you're being strung along, where one moment she's warm and engaging, and the next, she's distant and cold, you might be dealing with someone who is giving you breadcrumbs, not real attention. This behavior is subtle but powerful. It's like she's tossing you little bits of affection or attention, just enough to keep you hooked, but not enough to make you feel valued or secure. Breadcrumbing is a tactic used by people who want to keep someone around without fully investing. She might send a flirty text, give you a compliment, or invite you out once in a while, but it never turns into anything meaningful. It leaves you questioning where you stand. Why? Because the moments of connection are too inconsistent to build anything solid. Let's break it down. 1 minute, you're having an amazing conversation, and she seems like she's really into you. Then out of nowhere, she goes silent. No texts, no calls, just radio silence. Days pass, and you're left wondering if you did something wrong, or if maybe she's just busy. Then, she pops back in with a simple, "Hey," or "Sorry, I've been so caught up lately." This cycle repeats itself, leaving you in a state of confusion and frustration. This is exactly what breadcrumbing looks like, a pattern of inconsistent communication that leaves you craving more. It creates an emotional roller coaster where you're constantly chasing after the next little crumb of attention, and in the end, you're left feeling unimportant because the attention you're getting doesn't match your worth. Take the example of a guy named Alex. He's been talking to a woman, Emma, for a few weeks. At first, everything seems great. She's responding quickly to his texts, suggesting they meet up and flirting with him. But then, out of nowhere, Emma goes silent for a few days. Alex starts to feel like maybe she's lost interest or something's off, but then she pops up again saying, "I'm so sorry. Life got crazy. I miss you. Let's catch up soon." It feels good for a moment, but the pattern continues. Every time Alex starts to feel like he's really connecting with her, she disappears again. Each time, he gets sucked back in by those sweet little crumbs of attention, hoping this time will be different. The truth? Emma isn't valuing Alex. She's playing a game where he's always chasing after her, but never getting anything real in return. She's only giving him just enough to keep him around, but not enough to build anything solid. That's breadcrumbing in a nutshell, giving someone just enough to keep them interested, but never enough to make them feel like they're actually valued or important. If you're in a situation like this, recognize the pattern early. Stop accepting breadcrumbs. A woman who truly values you will give you her full attention consistently, not just when it's convenient for her or when she needs a confidence boost. You deserve more than scraps, and the longer you tolerate this behavior, the longer you'll stay in a cycle of uncertainty and frustration. 2. She keeps you on the back burner. One of the clearest signs a woman doesn't value you is when she keeps you on the back burner. This means you're never really a priority. Your time and effort don't seem to matter, and you're always waiting for her to make time for you. She'll keep you around, but she's not fully investing in the relationship, treating you as more of an option than something important. When you're constantly on the back burner, you'll notice that your interactions with her are sporadic. She'll reach out when it's convenient for her, but never in a way that shows genuine interest or commitment. You may find that she'll suddenly pop up with a text or a call after a few days, but it's usually when she has some free time or when the other things in her life aren't demanding her attention. When you try to make plans, she's always too busy, or there's always some excuse. At first, it might seem like normal behavior. Maybe she's just busy with work or life in general. But over time, you start to see the pattern. She's not actively carving out time for you. Instead, you're getting whatever is left over after she's dealt with everything else. This is a classic sign that you're not truly valued, you're just a secondary choice. The back burner behavior often comes when she's uncertain about what she wants or is keeping her options open. She likes the idea of having someone available when she's ready, but doesn't want to fully commit. You're her backup plan, someone she can turn to when nothing else is working out, but she's not prioritizing the relationship. This behavior is particularly damaging because it causes confusion. One minute she'll act like she's interested, sending a text, making plans, showing some affection. But the next, she's completely unavailable or distant. It's emotionally draining because it leaves you wondering what went wrong, why she's suddenly acting cold, and why you're not getting the attention you deserve. If you've been through this cycle, you know how frustrating it is. She'll occasionally make you feel like you matter, but it's not consistent. When she does show interest, it's usually on her terms, and you're left waiting. You start to feel like you're always putting in the effort, while she's giving just enough to keep you hanging on. Eventually, it becomes clear. She's not valuing you. She's simply making sure you're there when her other priorities fall through. If she truly valued you, you wouldn't feel like you're constantly chasing after her. You wouldn't have to wait for the occasional text or phone call. You'd be a priority, not just an option when it's convenient for her. A woman who values you will make time for you, take your needs seriously, and show that she's fully invested in the relationship. But if you're on the back burner, it's a clear sign that you're not getting that kind of treatment. Stop accepting being an afterthought. Recognize the signs early, and don't settle for being someone's second choice. You deserve someone who will make you feel important every day, not just when it fits into her schedule. 3. Her affection comes with strings attached. When a woman doesn't value you, you'll notice that her affection always has strings attached. It's never pure, unconditional care. There's always something she expects in return, whether it's attention, validation, or even your compliance with her terms. You'll quickly realize that any form of closeness or warmth she shows is often part of a transaction, not just an act of love or connection. One of the biggest signs of this is when you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to figure out how to earn her affection. If she only shows you affection when you do something for her, or when you meet her expectations, then you're being used. True affection should come naturally, without any hidden agenda. When she values you, she'll make you feel good just because she wants to, not because you've done something that makes her feel validated or important. This type of behavior might show up when she gets upset or doesn't get what she wants. Suddenly, she's cold or distant, and you're left wondering why she's acting like this when everything seemed fine just a day ago. The affection she shows isn't genuine. It's conditional on how well you perform, how much attention you give her, or how you cater to her needs. If you don't play by her rules, she'll withdraw that affection, leaving you in a state of confusion and frustration. Another part of this is the emotional games she plays. You may notice that when you do something that pleases her, you get affection in return. But if you do something she doesn't like, or fail to meet her unspoken expectations, the affection disappears. It's like a switch is flipped. When you're doing things the right way in her eyes, you get her warmth and care. When you don't, you're left out in the cold. This can feel like an emotional roller coaster, and it leaves you constantly second-guessing yourself. The worst part is that over time, you might start to believe that this is how love works. You'll start to internalize that you have to keep doing things to earn affection, and it can make you feel like you're not enough just as you are. But the reality is, if she values you, her affection won't be a reward for good behavior or compliance. It will be a natural expression of her feelings for you. When you stop and think about it, this is no way to build a healthy relationship. You shouldn't have to work for affection or wonder if your value is tied to your actions. If she truly valued you, her affection would be given freely, without conditions or games. You'd feel secure in knowing that she genuinely cares, regardless of what you do for her. Anything less than that is just manipulation dressed up as love. 4. She plays games, not love. If a woman doesn't value you, you'll often find yourself caught up in a series of emotional games. Instead of straightforward communication and genuine connection, she'll keep you guessing, playing with your emotions in a way that never feels healthy or fulfilling. You'll feel like you're constantly trying to figure her out, navigating through mixed signals, or questioning whether she's being honest about what she really wants. When she's playing games, her intentions are never clear. She'll send you mixed signals. One moment she's giving you attention, the next she's pulling back. It creates a constant emotional push and pull, leaving you in a state of confusion and doubt. You never quite know where you stand, and that's exactly how she wants it. The uncertainty keeps you invested, even though it's not healthy for either of you. It's not always about what she says, but how she acts. She'll create situations where you're left wondering if she's really interested or just messing with you. You might feel like you're being tested, or that she's trying to provoke a certain reaction from you. And if you don't play along or respond the way she expects, she'll back off or give you the silent treatment. These emotional games often take the form of subtle manipulation. She might say things like, "I don't know what I want right now," or "I'm not looking for anything serious." But her actions don't match her words. She might keep leading you on, giving you just enough attention to keep you hooked, while still keeping a wall up and never fully committing. This leaves you stuck in limbo, wondering if you're just being used for her own emotional convenience. In a relationship, love should feel like a shared bond, something mutual and clear. But when you're constantly dealing with games, you'll notice that the emotional connection is missing. You'll be left doing all the heavy lifting, constantly trying to figure out where things stand, or trying to win her affection, when in reality, you should just be able to relax and let the connection grow naturally. It should be easy and fulfilling, not a constant challenge to prove your worth. What's worse is that these games can mess with your sense of self-worth. If she keeps pulling away and then coming back, it can make you start doubting yourself, questioning if you're good enough or why she's acting the way she is. But the truth is, it's not about you. It's about her playing games to control the situation and keep you emotionally invested without giving anything real in return. If she values you, there won't be games. She'll communicate clearly, be direct with her feelings, and offer consistency. You won't feel like you're walking on thin ice or constantly guessing her intentions. Love isn't about manipulation or trying to win someone's affection. It's about respect, trust, and understanding. Anything less than that is just a game, and you deserve so much more. 5. She constantly dismisses your needs. When a woman doesn't value you, one of the clearest signs is when she consistently dismisses your needs, whether emotional, physical, or psychological. This happens when she doesn't consider what you want or need in the relationship. Or worse, when she brushes off your feelings as unimportant. Instead of offering support or validation, she ignores or invalidates your experiences, leaving you feeling unseen and unheard. This behavior can be subtle, but over time, it becomes impossible to ignore. You might express something that's important to you, whether it's your goals, your feelings, or your concerns, only to have it dismissed or minimized. It's as if she doesn't take your needs seriously, or doesn't care to put in the effort to understand your perspective. You might feel like you're constantly compromising, but never receiving the same consideration in return. When you're in a relationship with someone who values you, there's mutual respect and care. Both partners listen, empathize, and try to meet each other's needs. But in a relationship where you're not valued, it becomes a one-way street. Your needs are treated as less important, and your feelings are brushed aside. For example, imagine a guy named Tom, who's been working hard on his career and finally gets a big promotion at work. He's excited and wants to share the news with his partner, Sarah. But when he tells her, instead of congratulating him, she barely reacts, only offering a quick, "That's nice," before turning the conversation back to her own day. Tom is left feeling deflated, as his big achievement, something he worked hard for, was met with indifference. This pattern continues in other areas of their relationship. When Tom expresses that he's feeling stressed about work or needs some downtime to recharge, Sarah dismisses his concerns. She brushes off his need for personal space and assumes that he should just be fine. Over time, Tom starts feeling like his emotions and needs aren't a priority to Sarah. He realizes that she's not even trying to understand him or offer support. It's a constant reminder that in her eyes, he's not as important as what she wants. A woman who values you would be there to listen, offer empathy, and show interest in what's important to you. She wouldn't dismiss your achievements, feelings, or needs. Instead, she would acknowledge them and make an effort to support you. But when she continually disregards your needs, it's a sign that she doesn't care enough to make an effort, and that's when the relationship starts to feel one-sided. The real issue with this behavior is that it creates emotional distance. When you feel dismissed and unheard, it's hard to feel connected to someone. Over time, you start to wonder whether you're really valued at all. If your partner doesn't see you or care about your needs, it's only a matter of time before that relationship starts to feel like a source of frustration and loneliness. So, if you notice this pattern, don't ignore it. You deserve someone who respects you, listens to you, and takes your needs into account. If she's constantly dismissing you, it's time to rethink whether this relationship is worth your time and energy. 6. She disrespects your boundaries. A woman who doesn't value you will constantly test or ignore your boundaries. And this right here is one of the biggest red flags most men keep brushing off. Boundaries are what protect your peace, your time, your emotional space. And if she doesn't respect them, she doesn't respect you. Simple as that. Here's where a lot of men need to hear the truth. If you've communicated your limits, what you're okay with, what crosses the line, what you need to feel respected, and she keeps pushing those limits. She's not just strong-willed or independent. She's flat out disregarding your values. And that's not strength. That's selfishness. It starts small. You say you need time to work on something important, but she blows up your phone. You ask for space after an argument, but she shows up uninvited or keeps texting you to keep the drama alive. You express what kind of behavior crosses the line for you: disrespect, shouting, public embarrassment, and yet she keeps doing it anyway. That's not love. That's control, disguised as affection. The worst part is, a lot of guys think enduring this makes them stronger, that putting up with it means they're being patient, or that they're proving they're serious about the relationship. No, what you're really doing is showing her that she can walk over you and there will be no consequences. And let's be honest, she knows what she's doing. When someone values you, they listen to your boundaries. Even if they don't agree with everything, they respect it, because they care about how you feel. But when she constantly breaks those boundaries, talking over you, testing your patience, dragging you into toxic situations, you're being shown that she values her own control more than your comfort. This is where the criticism comes in. Men, stop being so afraid to draw the line. You have every right to have limits, every right to demand respect. If she can't honor those boundaries, then she doesn't belong in your life, period. A man without boundaries becomes a man without peace. And the longer you allow it, the more damage it does to your self-esteem, your clarity, and your sense of direction. Here's the wake-up call. If a woman continues to disrespect your boundaries, it's not a communication issue. It's not something she's learning. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she's doing it because you're letting her. Stop teaching her that you'll tolerate being disrespected. Set the tone. Either she adjusts or she exits. And either way, you win. Because a woman who truly values you would never need to be reminded twice where the line is. Let's wrap this up with something you need to hear. The biggest reason most men keep getting disrespected in relationships is because they're too scared to walk away. And that fear, that's what women feel. That's what some of them use to keep control. If she knows you'll stay no matter how badly she treats you, then what motivation does she really have to value you? The truth is, a woman can only treat you like a second option if you let her. And it's time to stop letting it happen. Drop a comment below and share your story. I know a lot of you have been through this. Some of you might be dealing with it right now. I read every single comment, and I'll respond where I can. You're not alone in this. This channel exists to bring clarity, strength, and truth to men who are done tolerating less than they deserve. Let's build that connection. Let's grow together. And if no one's told you this today, you are not crazy for wanting respect. You're just finally waking up. If you felt this message, like the video and share it with someone who needs to hear it. I'll see you in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next on.